I feel very deceived
I
and
do
lied
too.
to.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've looked over the years at the grocery store to find Nitrite-free bacon, only to find that they all have this little asterisk that says, well...
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Health Files with Dr. Miles. I am Tanner. I am here with my co-host, researcher, aspiring medical student Katie, and as always, bringing the medical knowledge, board-certified family physician, Dr. Miles. So at the gym, I've been wanting to maybe, spice things up a little bit as far as maybe adding some supplements to my diet. It's not that I'm not getting the gains that I want. It's just typically you can tell the difference between those that are taking supplements and those that aren't taking supplements. The problem is I am so caffeine sensitive, and sleep is an issue with me. I'm a decaf drinker to the point because I am so caffeine sensitive. I drink even a cup of coffee.
You serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just highly sensitive to that. And I run into the same problem in the gym, and I can't take any of these like Ripped Fuel, or I know when we were growing up there, Mini Thins, or like the big vasodilators. But I did see that they have this NO type stuff, the nitric
that's all over the place.
oxide, that's supposed to be a real energy boost and kind of give you a real boost as far as your workout goes. Now, are those something that can affect your sleep?
I don't think they affect sleep. So I think if you want to do those, it's probably okay for sleep. And maybe Katie can tell you about what this NO stuff is and what it does on the body.
That's true. Katie is quite the workout guru. So do you have any insight into this?
I don't know about guru, but I do like to learn about it.
Watch out, Conor McGregor.
Oh, God. We're not there. So nitric oxide, so basically what it is, it's a vasodilator, and it just dilates your blood vessels so you get more blood flow. So I don't know about energy and everything like that, but I know that it stimulates like increased blood flow to your muscles. So it gives you that pump look while you're working out.
Yeah, we definitely know the nitric oxide has that ability to dilate the vessels and allow more blood flow. The question then becomes, well, is it worth it, and is it something you need at the gym?
Yeah, and even more important, is it dangerous?
That's a very good
that's always
question.
my big concern. I just don't take supplements because I'm pretty convinced, as with most aspects of my life, if I'm it's probably killing me in some way.
Oh, yeah. So I haven't looked at these particular supplements. I don't think they contain actual nitric oxide, but I think they are promoters of nitric oxide.
I think you're right.
I know some of the amino acids like arginine and some of the other things, they promote nitric oxide production. So that way you're taking in something that is normally present in a food item, and then your body decides, hey, I can use this to make more nitric oxide. And I haven't seen studies to see if how much it helps with a workout and if it actually causes you to build muscle mass down the road. But I do know a lot of people are doing it.
I'm not sure. I know that it'll increase the blood flow to the muscles during while you're working them, but I don't know if it helps with growth and everything like that.
So when I think of nitric oxide or now, is there a difference between nitric oxide and like what we put in the cars, nitrous oxide, or are they very similar?
So nitrous oxide is N2O. So you have 2 nitrogen atoms for every 1 oxygen, and that is laughing gas.
Okay.
So yeah, and then nitric oxide is 1 nitrogen for 1 oxygen, and that is what's present in the body. And it's a very potent oxidant too. So it's not something you want to inhale like you might the nitrous oxide at the dentist's office, because if you get too much, it can definitely be dangerous.
Well, we've got more nights here than a Mel Gibson movie. So what is nitric, nitrate, nitrous? What is that composed of?
All right, it all gets confusing.
Chemistry class.
I know.
Here we go.
Let's do some simple chemistry. Let's say we'll start with the basics things. A lot of vegetables have something called nitrates.
Okay.
Well, the nitrates are converted into the body to nitrites with an I instead of an A. And these nitrites are further used in the body to produce nitric oxide. And that's the thing that regulates a lot of blood flow in our body. And it does other things too. It has some neurotransmitter properties, and it's very widely used in the body, but our body controls that process so that way we don't get too much.
Now, and I could be way off in this, but I have always heard that nitrates are bad for you. And you just said they're found in vegetables, which we know a plant-based diet is the best way to go.
Blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah. But I've always gotten the impression that, like, when we're eating hot dogs or something else, they're like,
Bacon.
oh, that's full of
Bacon.
Don't you badmouth bacon.
Oh, but will it kill me?
Will it kill me? I mean, and I think that's the big question with the diets that are out there. You know, the Atkins, the difference. You're like, oh, you can eat all the bacon that you want. You can, but then they're like, oh, that's full of nitrates. You can't get that. That can.
Yep.
So what's the truth? Where's the reality in that?
Okay, well, let's talk about bacon and hot dogs and things like that. Those processed meats, what they do is they take nitrites and they add them to the meat. What those do a couple things. They kind of enhance the flavor, they prevent food spoilage, and they keep the color kind of a pink color, which is why bacon is still pink when you buy it. It doesn't turn gray exposed to air until it's been open for a while, and you get the reaction reverse and everything. Well, then we have found that these nitrites and these nitrites, when they react with the bacon or other meats, form something called nitrosamines. And it's these nitrites and nitrosamines that you ingest that are not so good for us. These processed meats actually can kill you. They have negative effects on the heart. They have been linked to certain types of cancer, including stomach cancers and other cancers. So I personally haven't given up bacon yet. I don't want to. It's too good to give up. But it is something that we should limit. All these processed foods, especially these ones that have the nitrites and nitrosamines, we should avoid them as much as we can because these chemicals are just not good for us.
Well, what's interesting is that even the one, like the bacon at the store that says it's natural and
organic.
Yeah, and what is it?
No nitrite added.
Yeah, no nitrites added. It's still, what they use still converts to the nitrosamines. So
it does.
It's still harmful.
So most commonly they take either celery juice or celery powder. And these are very high in those nitrates that we were talking about, which are fine for us. But before they add them to the meats, they add a bacteria to them to convert the nitrates to nitrites, and then that nitrite reacts with the meat to form the exact same nitrosamines that you get from the original non-organic bacon.
So organic isn't safer.
No, in this case, organic bacon using celery is just as bad for you as regular bacon. No benefit whatsoever as far as I can see.
I feel very deceived
I
and
do
lied
too.
to.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've looked over the years at the grocery store to find nitrite-free bacon, only to find that they all have this little asterisk that says, well, no nitrites added except for those naturally occurring in celery.
Oh, those tricky devils.
Yeah, and then people don't know that nitrites and nitrosamines are bad. They see no nitrates added and they're like, oh, this is better.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
advertising.
And that's why we're talking about the chemistry a little bit right here. So that way we can understand what's good and what's not. I think a simple way to look at it is look at your bacon. What color is it? If it's pink, it's probably not good for you.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, living in Nepal for 2 years, I got bacon on occasion, but it was straight off of a pig. I literally watched the pig scream. I used to look at the bacon that we got in Nepal, and it was always gray. And I always thought, because I'd seen what these pigs were eating, a lot of them ate the trash and the thing, and I just thought it maybe was diet related. That
Just
they had
dirty bacon.
eaten, just dirty, just in their flesh they had ingested.
Trashed bacon.
Yeah, trash bacon. I mean, the cows too. It was just a lot. That was just a part of their diet, was eating some of the trash off of the roads.
Well, let me ask you this. What did that bacon taste like? Did it taste like bacon or was it different?
No, it did taste like bacon. It did taste a little different than I would say the bacon here. For whatever
But
reason,
still
the
yummy.
bacon here it has a substantially
Bacony
deeper flavor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it
it's
was just
probably the nitrites.
just richer.
Yep, but that's the nitrates.
And I didn't know. I always thought, maybe they smoke it, or it's smoked bacon, or maybe it's the honey glaze, or all the different flavors that you get here. But there was definitely a different flavor. But it didn't take away that bacon's bacon, and at the end of the day, bacon's good.
It is good.
Oh, I know.
I have a patient who raises pigs. At least he used to. I'm not sure if he still does. I haven't seen him in the past several months. He raises pigs and slaughters them, butchers them, if you will, and makes his own bacon. And he does not use the nitrates or nitrites.
Does he use celery juice?
He does not. He smokes them, and he says, and he hasn't given me a taste yet, but he says it is absolutely delicious. And I'm thinking, well, I would have a better conscience eating this bacon than I would the store-bought bacon with all the nitrates.
Well, we need to get a line on this patient.
Why,
Figure
yeah,
out-
why is this not a
yeah,
thing
we
yet?
need to try this
You
bacon.
don't see bacon like that in stores.
No, it's not commercially available at your typical grocery stores. Now, there are some places, I bet if you went to some of these grocery stores / farmers markets that you could
Yeah.
find something like that.
So why then? Why is it not available? Is it a preservation issue? Would it have to be consumed so quickly that it doesn't become feasible? But it seems like with these health food markets, they're fully aware of this celery juice, celery powder lie that they've
I'm
been
not
living.
sure that they are.
Really?
I think they look at it and say, "Oh, celery, that's good for you."
Yeah, that's fair.
Seriously?
The people,
there's
the
science behind it,
the
so-
manufacturers, they know the difference.
Yeah.
But the people at the stores who are buying it and stocking
Oh, yeah,
it,
they don't know.
I don't think they know.
Big tobacco has become big bacon.
It's funny you mentioned tobacco. These nitrosamines are present in tobacco smoke.
Well, of course it is. they track down everything that could kill you, and they're like, "What if we wrapped this up?
Wrap it up.
Let's
smoke
wrap it up and light it on fire and put it in our lungs."
Yeah.
A little fiberglass, absolutely.
But yeah, these nitrites have been present in bacon forever, as far as I know, since they've been making bacon, at least over here in the United States. And it's done that way as a preservative. So that's why they have continued to use it. And I think that commercially, the fact that it doesn't last as long, and if they smoke it, people aren't going to look at it and say, "Oh yeah, that's healthy bacon right there." They're going to think that's old bacon. I don't want that.
And it is going to be hard to snatch up the gray bacon.
Oh,
The gray
yeah,
bacon,
over
yeah.
the pink.
It's going to be tough.
But I have a feeling over the next several years, with all this attention to these kind of meats and processed meats and how bad they are for us, that more places, maybe Oscar Mayer will kind of get with it and say, "Hey, let's produce a true nitrite-free bacon."
Okay. So let's break this down into reality. You said you're not giving up bacon.
I'm not.
I don't see my life as being one without bacon in it. No BLTs. No bacon bits.
Oh,
So
some of those bacon bits are actually soy products.
oh really?
Yeah, I think the original bacon bits were soy. So
Well, it's practically a vegetable.
practically.
Next time they say you don't need that many bacon bits on your salad, I'm going to be like, look, this is another vegetable. I'm like putting garbanzo beans on it.
But I actually like the bacon bits that are real bacon. So, no, I eat bacon personally, probably at most once a month.
Okay.
So
So
I rarely buy it.
so how bad is it? I mean, is it going to kill me? Can I keep eating bacon? Where do we stand on bacon?
So I think that you should limit your consumption of processed foods. If you're having bacon once a month and that's your only processed meat, I think it's probably just fine for you. If you're consuming something like this multiple times a week, I'm going to say it just might kill you. And for lots of reasons.
Back it off.
Yeah, not just the nitrites, but then you've got all these other saturated fats and other animal proteins that are not so good for us, and there's strong associations with other cancers and heart disease and things like that. So I think we ought to be careful with these processed meats.
Okay, well, let's talk hot dogs then, because you eliminate hot dogs from our house, and you've now eliminated, or even limit, hot dogs and bacon. I mean, it's a game changer.
I don't have
mean,
the
we
prob-
eat.
Yeah.
Okay, help me out with understanding processed meats. Obviously, hot dogs. They're clearly processed, super processed.
Just about anything you buy in a package is going to be considered processed.
lunch meat.
Yeah,
Processed?
probably.
Oh, so lunch meat, hot dogs, bacon.
Yeah.
What else falls into the processed meat
I don't know,
category?
maybe Vienna
Sausage?
sausage.
Yeah, well, I've left those behind a long time ago.
That and the macaroni and cheese, right?
No, I still consume plenty of mac and
I
cheese.
had a cousin that used to eat that every single day for dinner.
Mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese and Vienna sausage.
Well,
Oh,
you said had a cousin.
I still do.
Okay.
I don't think she eats that anymore.
Okay. When we're combining all this processed meats together, what is a safe level of processed meat consumption? Because that's a huge role in everybody I know who has children
Yeah.
in their lives. What's a loose
I-
recommendation?
Oh, I think we really need to slow down and try to avoid them.
Once a week? Processed meat?
probably not.
Once a week.
I'd say avoid it as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, try to work on giving it up, but then splurging every now and then.
Okay,
It
so
should not be part of your regular diet. It is not one of the basic food groups.
okay. So we eliminate lunch meats. What if I got a chicken threw it in a crock pot or a pressure cooker,
Yeah.
cooked that up, and we had that on our sandwiches. Is that a process?
No, that's fine.
Okay, so I can eat real chicken.
Yeah.
Just can't eat chicken that's been thinly sliced. What's the difference?
So the chicken and turkey, I don't fully know about with the lunch meats. Definitely the beef and pork products are probably going to be processed.
Okay.
So processed with nitrates and nitrates. So you'll have to look at the actual package because there may be plenty of lunch meats like turkey and chicken that might not have those kinds of things. But be aware, if you're looking at it and there's other ingredients besides chicken, then you can probably call it processed.
Okay.
But if it just says ingredients chicken, then you're good.
Okay. So how is this going to kill me? We talking cancer, heart disease?
We're talking cancer and heart disease.
Both.
Those are the double whammy.
Yes. The two most common causes of death in this country.
Okay.
So is the heart, or did you say heart disease?
Mm-hmm.
So is the heart disease from the nitrosamines and nitrites, or is it from all the fats in the bacon, or is it both?
We don't know that for sure, but most of the studies that have looked at processed foods, they're not able to determine, hey, is it the nitrates and nitrosamines, or is it the fat, or is it just the meat itself? Studies have been done just saying, hey, how much of this stuff do you eat, and are you dying? We don't.
I mean, neither is good. So
Yeah, so nobody's going to be on a vegetable diet and they're going to say, okay, here's some nitrosamines. Why don't you consume these every day and we'll see what happens over
Yeah,
the
let's
next
not.
10 years.
I feel like this topic was a very insensitive choice coming off of my Texas Tech loss out of the Elite Eight. And then you drop, hey, oh, by the way, I know you're reeling from your Texas Tech loss, but you also need to give up hot dogs and bacon.
Maybe you can have a bacon-wrapped filet mignon minus the bacon and the filet.
Now just tell me, now a steak, a finely cut ribeye, that is not
a
processed
meat. No.
Okay. All right. I don't even know how we got here. When this conversation started, we said nitrates were found in vegetables and were good for you. And then here we are, no bacon, no hot dogs, all because of these same nitrates. So where did I get lost in this conversation?
So in the meat, the nitrates are converted to nitrites, and then there's some kind of reaction where the nitrites turn into nitrosamines, and those are what is harmful to you. So
yeah, the amines that are part of the protein actually react with the nitrites to form the nitrosamines.
Yeah. But when you're getting the nitrates from the vegetables and the fruits, they're not having that same reaction. So that you're not getting the nitrosamines from these vegetables. And the nitrates in the foods can have good effects on your body.
Yeah, kind of like your workout formula that you're talking about.
Yeah,
Tanner.
they convert into nitric oxide in your body, and that can have good effects on your blood pressure.
Here's another interesting thing. Because it's a potent oxidant, they thought, well, maybe we can add an antioxidant like vitamin C to the processed meats and help prevent some of this nasty reaction and actually lower the harmful effects of these processed meats. But they actually found, there were some studies that I saw looking at this specifically, and they found that those that had the vitamin C actually had more of the nitrosamines.
How wonderful.
I know. So they added something to help with the process, and instead it actually made it worse. So be careful what you eat.
Bacon is a bad man. It can take, it doesn't matter. You take vitamin C, you take anything good, and you put it on bacon.
And it just ruins it.
They're like, we're just going to turn this around.
Yeah, just limit the bacon. But Katie was going to tell us about some of these vegetables which do have the nitrates, because we do need these nitrates. To an extent, they're good for us.
Yeah, so some of the fruits and vegetables that are high in nitrates are beets, carrots, cabbage, green beans, lettuce, spinach, parsley, collard greens, celery, and radishes. And then strawberries are the highest in nitrates as far as fruit goes. And then behind them are currants, gooseberries, and raspberries.
So yeah.
So there's a good variety of fruits and vegetables that you can get these from.
Yeah, a lot of the roots and a lot of the greens.
Where
Good
does
stuff.
one go to get a good gooseberry these days?
I do not know. I don't think I've ever had a gooseberry.
I can't say I've had a gooseberry.
We've got a lot of geese flying over. So maybe
They're dropping
I
gooseberries.
don't
gooseberries all the
think
time.
you want those gooseberries.
don't eat those. Katie brought up beets as a natural way to be able to get nitrates. There was a study, I read it, I can't remember where it was. It was about a year ago, and they did a study with distance runners. And they found that people who ate beetroots right before they went, I think they actually drank it out of a powder, but they had the beetroot, and they were able to perform, I think it was about 10% further in a given time period. So there was an actual performance difference that you could see with this beetroot powder with all the nitrates. So
I love beets.
I don't.
They're so good.
I juiced one time, and it looked like blood, and it tastes like dirt.
Oh, they're good.
And I don't like bloody dirt.
They don't taste like bloody dirt.
Yeah, they do.
Never tried bloody dirt.
Raw.
Beets don't taste like that.
Don't juice one then.
Speaking of performance, I want to think that from my days as a pharmaceutical representative, the vasodilation is kind of a similar effect found in Viagra and your Cialises and your erectile dysfunction drugs.
Yeah, it is. It's because it increases blood flow. So you get increased blood flow to the penis.
Yep. So Viagra and all these other medicines, they actually are what they call phosphodiesterase inhibitors. And throughout this process of cyclic GMP in these pathways, the resultant thing is an increase in nitric oxide in certain vessels. And with that, you get vasodilation, and that's where the erections come from. There is one other study looking at nitrates and nitrites and those things. And I know it's confusing, and I'm going to summarize again. Nitrates go into nitrites, which go into nitrosamines, which cause bad things in our body. There was actually an association, at least in stomach cancers, that those people that were consuming high nitrate diets, that's the vegetables that we were talking about, the roots and the greenery, that those people actually had a slightly reduced risk of stomach cancer, so they're protective. Maybe it was just all the other vegetables included in there and the lack of other meats, but in this case, the nitrates were good. It's just the nitrites and the nitrosamines that seem to be bad.
We learned about nitrates, nitrites, nitrosamines, nitric oxide, nitric dioxide, knights of the round table, lots of knights. Some are good for you, some are terribly bad for you. A good gauge of what's good for you and what's bad for you. If it tastes amazing, it's probably bad for you. If it tastes like dirt and came from the earth, then it's probably great for you. And to slow it down for every man out there that is dying to call in and ask, now, what were those vegetables again that could have the vasodilation effects? They are beets, carrots, cabbage, green beans, spinach, parsley, collard greens, celery, and radishes. Strictly for the vasodilation effects, of course, of the muscles. Muscles. You've been listening to Health Files with Dr. Miles, and we really hope you enjoyed it and were able to learn about achieving and maintaining good health. Subscribe to our show and hear the latest and greatest in the news of medicine and health. Don't forget to rate us and share us with your friends and family. This show was hosted by me, Tanner. Our co-host and researcher was Katie. And of course, providing medical expertise, we have Dr. Miles, board-certified family physician. Be sure and check out our website, healthfilesradio.com, to learn more about us, see our biographies, our show, and specific resources that we used on each topic.
Including Tanner's new picture. I said new, not nude.
Sorry, ladies.
Here you go.
As always, we are here for education and entertainment. You should take our recommendations not as specific medical advice, but as powerful knowledge to review with your own doctor, since you as an individual have your own unique health issues and needs.